New this morning on your Fast Track to the top of the hour, a Minnesota teen dead following a crash yesterday in Norman County. Officials say it happened around 5:30 p.m. on Highway 200 in Fossum Township near Mahnomen. Minnesota State Patrol says a semi was eastbound on the highway and a Chevy going westbound when the two collided. Troopers say the semi caught fire, but the driver was not hurt. The crash report says, though, a 17-year-old boy from Gary, Minnesota in that Chevy was killed. The crash remains under investigation at this time. Two people are behind bars this morning after the Red River Valley SWAT team executed a high-risk search warrant last night around 8 o'clock. The warrant was served in connection to a fugitive investigation in the 1300 block of 5th Avenue North. 35-year-old Tarika Thompson of Tennessee was arrested on an outstanding warrant for attempted murder. 41-year-old Christopher Buttes, also of Tennessee, was arrested on outstanding warrants for narcotics and firearm-related charges. During the search warrant, officials used a flashbang, they say, to allow officers to perform tasks that may have put them in danger otherwise. This is an ongoing investigation. No further information is being released at this time. Be sure to stick with Valley News Live for any updates. Happening today, the trial of a Wahpeton man accused of shooting his cousin is expected to begin at 8 a.m. Sean Lane was arrested last June after police officers in Wahpeton responded to a 911 call about a gunshot. Shortly after police arrived, they found Lane's cousin, who had been shot in the chest. During a police interview, Lane admitted to shooting his cousin. He stands charged with one felony count of attempted murder and one misdemeanor count of discharging a firearm within city limits. Lane is pleading not guilty to all charges. Today, an officer will be testifying in court to provide information on the arrest of a man accused of sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl. Oscar Luna is from Texas. He was arrested in Minnesota last September following a police interview with an 11-year-old child who claimed that he, among multiple other men, had sexually assaulted her. The officer will be testifying about exactly how Luna was identified and the steps law enforcement took to arrest him. Depending on that outcome of the testimony, the case will be taken to trial, though no court date has been set yet at this time. Time now for a look at our storm team forecast. It's the beginning of Mardi Gras on our Tuesday, and things looking pretty nice outside so far. We know changes are in store, though. We're sending things over to meteorologist Lisa Green this morning for an update. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, so we are letting the good times roll this morning. It might get a little tougher heading into the afternoon as we see more snow moving in. Not heavy, but enough to lead to some slick spots on the road. So your morning commute looking all right here this morning in Fargo. Our temperature pretty mild. We're at 31 degrees right now in Fargo. Our wind is very light. It's turning southeasterly. And at only 3 miles per hour, it's not really having an impact on our wind chill, so it feels like 31 in Fargo. And still enjoying those earlier sunrises at 7:35 this morning. We'll see that sun come up. We won't actually get to see much of the sun, though. We'll have overcast skies. Sunset getting closer to that 6 o'clock hour. In Grand Forks, looking similar. We've got some overcast conditions, temperatures into the 20s, 26 degrees. Easterly wind at 6 feels more like 19 degrees as we're stepping out the door in Grand Forks. Visibility at 9 miles. There are a couple of places where we're dealing with some fog up around the Devil's Lake Basin and up north toward Candu. So that kind of complicates things a little bit more for you there, especially as we've got the snow approaching your area here this morning. You can see a lot of the valley just seeing some overcast conditions, but back over to Bismarck and into the Minot area, we have some snow, and some of that is approaching our western viewing area. You can see western Lemoore, Dickey County, Stutsman County, just west of Jamestown, back over to Medina. We might have a few flurries going on. And then Northern Valley seeing a similar situation in western parts of Benson County around the Maddock area. So watching for snow to start up there this morning, and gradually it moves eastward, and it may be kind of slow on this Mardi Gras. We're looking at places like Fargo in the central part of the valley here, holding off on precipitation chances until we get maybe later into the afternoon. It could come sooner than that, but more likely later afternoon we'll see that happen. Temperatures into the 30s, and those of us in the south where we're above freezing, we're looking at the potential for a little more of a light mix in that area. If we do get accumulation, it'll be a coating up to about an inch through tonight before that moves on. Heading into the rest of the week, maybe some snow along the South Dakota line on Valentine's Day tomorrow, and then we're cooling down back into some teens and 20s by Friday for the end of the week. So very much more like February weather here toward the end of our week. And still, even though we're talking about a cool down, we're still looking at temperatures around average. So again, still we've been on that milder side.
Hey, any temperature above freezing deserves a parade, in my opinion.
Even above zero, given how cold we were last month, at least for a short stretch of that time. No Arctic air in the near future here in the valley.
Great reminder. Thank you for the updates this morning, Lisa. In the 2024 elections, many communities will look to fill positions from City Hall to Park District. While most take part by voting, some will be running for office themselves. Crystal Kwa explains how it's possible.
The opportunity to petition to be on the ballot for city elections in North Dakota opened up on January 1st. Surrey resident Jada Ramirez says it's something she's thought about.
I've always worked fast food and hospitality, so that would be a total different, branch of work for me.
Surrey auditor Anita Trenner says as long as the petitioner is a qualified voter, gives a statement of interest, and lives within city limits, they can be a possible voice for constituents.
I would suggest anybody giving it a try at least one time. If you haven't done it one time in your life, it is worth the experience.
Lifelong Surrey resident Jeff Koopser says he hasn't considered running.
I don't have a lot of extra time, and unfortunately when they hold the meetings, I'm out of town on Mondays.
You are serving the public. You're always answering questions or receiving phone calls or, no matter what it is, if it's an emergency, at the city or whatever, you're always on call.
It's a part-time job though. Tranner says 4 out of 6 city council positions are available, with most of them being 4-year terms. She says 3 out of 5 park board positions are open and they require 18 signatures.
Not necessarily will they change because maybe the people that are currently sitting will turn in their petitions.
April 8th is the deadline to petition.
And there are various deadlines for early voting and other parts of the election process. Double check your city's candidacy openings and voting timelines. The Fargo Park District says all outdoor skating rinks will be closed for the remainder of the season. This comes as a result of all this warm weather and above freezing temperatures. However, what you're taking a look at on your screen, the Shields skating rink downtown at Broadway Square will remain open. So far, so good there. That's because it was built with refrigerated coils beneath the ice there, allowing for more temperature control. Fargo Park says they'll continue to monitor weather conditions for this rink as well, though. And the safety of all ice fishing enthusiasts has prompted the cancellation of the Jamestown Rural Fire Department's 16th annual ice fishing tournament, originally scheduled for Saturday, February 17th. Organizers announced that event, which typically draws a large crowd to the Jamestown Reservoir. It will not be taking place this year again due to concerns about ice conditions and these warming temperatures. Well, the numbers are in for the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign in Fargo. Only one could come out on top for the big competition between local realtors, law enforcement, and the fire departments. And the winner this year is Realtors with almost $30,000 raised. But in total combined, all of the organizations raised nearly $64,000.
We try to meet the immediate need with the intention of generating a better outcome for people. So we don't just meet the need and leave them. Our ideal is to help change their situation, change their mentality about that, change their attitudes about things, their viewpoint, empower them with education, empower them with encouragement, and those types of things to transform their lives so they're not perpetually in the same rut they are now, but they find a way to be alleviated of that suffering and move forward with their life.
The Salvation Army raised 88% of their anticipated goal. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Valley today. Take care.